Hey, it's Allison with Get Your Pretty On, and one of the questions that I get asked probably more than any other is, what is your everyday makeup routine? So today I'm going to take you through my actual routine. I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible, but I'm going to show you the products that I wear on a daily basis and how I apply them. And I refer to this as kind of my base face because this is the makeup that I wear for every day, but it's also the makeup that I wear if I'm going to go out or for a special occasion. I just usually play up my eyes a little bit more and add a bright lip color as well. So let's get started with moisturizer. That's my step one, and I use the Garnier Skin Renew Daily Moisture Lotion. This has an SPF of 28, and living in Texas, that is absolutely essential year round. So I am kind of neurotic about moisturizing and wearing SPF as well. Okay, so that is on. And step two is my dirty little secret, which if you've been around my blog for long, you know that I traded in my expensive Smashbox primer for the Monistat Chafing Relief Powder Gel. And you can see I'm almost out of my tube here. This stuff costs $6 and it absolutely worked as well as Smashbox. I was a Smashbox devotee for many years and I've switched over to this year, and I can't even tell you how happy that makes me. So I put on about a dime size amount, enough to cover my whole face. And what this does is it just kind of helps your foundation sort of float on your skin. It has silicone in it, so it sort of goes into all your little fine lines and pores and smooths everything out and just creates a really nice, smooth surface for you to apply your foundation. The next step is foundation. So recently I discovered this Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. It also has an SPF of 18. It's radiant firming makeup, and it has goji berry and caffeine, which I guess is supposed to wake up your skin. I don't know, but I really like it. My mom was wearing it, and I asked her how she got her skin to look like it was glowing so much, and she said, oh, I just changed my foundation, and this is the one that I'm using. So I started using it too, and I love it. And I'm using number 220, which is Sandy Beige. Whenever I was on the Google Hangout a few weeks ago with Sonia Kashuk, one of the mistakes that she said a lot of women make is that they use a foundation that is too light for their skin. So I usually go at least a shade darker than I think I should, and in the summer I go 2 shades darker. So if I do happen to get a little bit of sun, then I'm covered with my foundation. Also, you'll notice I don't use concealer. I use my foundation in the areas that you would normally conceal. There's a few reasons for that. I don't like the look of concealer. I don't think that you would want to highlight areas on your skin that you're trying to hide. And essentially that's what concealer does, because it's usually a lighter color than the makeup that you're using. So it sort of makes your blemishes and imperfections stand out a little bit more. So that's why I use foundation as concealer too. And I kind of put it over my eyelids to give me a nice primed finish for my eyeshadow. Use it liberally on my birthmark between my eyes to cover that up, and on any areas that are a little bit red. I've got a blemish here on my cheek that I'm trying to cover up. And I always apply with a sponge because it just provides for more even application. Okay, so next step in my process is I lightly dust a little bit of loose powder over my foundation, and that just sort of sets everything. It also tamps down any shine I might have, and I find in the summer months too, I like this little layer of protection because it keeps my skin from getting oily whenever I'm out in the heat and humidity. Okay, so that's sort of my base, my canvas, so to say, to apply color on top of. So the next step in my process is then to do my bronzer and blush. I've been using this Sonia Kashuk Chic Luminosity Bronzer Blush Duo, which I love. It's the best bronzer I think I've ever used. It looks very natural. I apply it with her Kashuk Tools number 24 brush, which is great too. So put some up in my hairline, across the forehead, any places that would naturally get a tan, along the tops of my cheeks, on the temples, and down the bridge of my nose, a little bit on the chin, a little bit of contour along the jawline, and that's it. Now for my blush, I do switch out to this fluffier brush to apply that. And smile, just put that right there on the apples of my cheeks, and then kind of blend it back. And these products actually do create a little bit of a nice sheen, which looks very natural. So I'm tamping down the shine, but then I'm adding back a little bit of shimmer with the makeup products. So next step in my process, I moved to my eyes, and several years ago, I invested in a Smashbox Masterclass palette, which is full of every eye color you can imagine. This has been the best investment ever. I've been using this thing for years, and I swear it's never gonna run out. So I dip my eyeshadow brush into a shell pink color and just kind of put that on my eyelid. Another thing that I like about Smashbox is that their eyeshadows are kind of finely milled, and the pigments are really good too. A lot of times when you buy these big kits, the quality of the makeup doesn't seem to be as good as when you buy them in the individual packaging, but this is definitely one that is. Okay, and I do a little bit there on the corner of my eyes. I learned a trick from a makeup artist years ago that it makes you look more awake if you do that. And just kind of blend that shell pink color up to the eyebrow. And then for the crease, I'm going to go with just a sandy brown. It has a little bit of a shimmer to it. I typically wear neutral colors, they go with everything, but I'm not afraid to play around with color either. I like purples and turquoise and some more fun colors too. Okay, that's it for the eyeshadow. It's pretty simple. As far as my eyeliner is concerned, I don't use eyeliner pencils, but I do use the dark eyeshadows in my Masterclass palette, so it comes with a little brush that's perfect for that. I just wet it a little. You didn't see that. I did it with my tongue. You're supposed to do that with water. Don't copy my bad habits. And then I draw my line close to the lash line on the top lid. And I'm mixing kind of a black and brown together to make this so it's not quite as dark of a line. And it's got a nice little hint of shimmer to it too. So I'll go a little thicker on that upper lid. And on the bottom, I keep it really nice and tight into that lash line. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is an area that I would definitely apply a little bit darker and a little bit heavier if I were going out for a date night or something, but for my everyday, I like to keep it pretty light. Sometimes too, I like to go back through with a little tiny bit of shimmer powder and just run that along that lower edge just to soften it a little and give a little more lightness around the eye. Okay, so final step on my eyes is my Lash Domination Volumizing Mascara from Bare Minerals. I love this because I threw away my eyelash curler because this stuff actually curls your lashes. And it eliminates an extra step, which is great. I like it too because it's not too thick, but it does add a lot of volume and length at the same time. So this is one of my new favorite products. And by the way, all of these products are in the post below this video, so if you're interested in any of them, you can click on those links and check them out. If I was going to be fancier, I'd put on a second coat, but just for my everyday, one coat's fine. And then last but not least, I do touch up my brows a little bit with the IT Cosmetics Your Brows But Better pencil. On one end, it's got the pencil, which this color works for everybody. If you want it to be darker, you just apply a little more pressure. If you want it to be lighter, a little less. I just usually run it along the top edge of my brows just to make them look a little bit cleaner and more filled in. And then any areas that are sparse, I fill in a little bit too. Okay. And then I just blend that in with the brush. And that is it. One final step, which I did not include here, is I always wear a tinted lip balm or a lip gloss whenever I go out, but I keep those in my purse. I don't do that in my daily makeup. That's just one of those things that I kind of do whenever I'm running out the door. So that's it. That's my everyday makeup routine, and I hope you guys liked it. Thanks.